Okay, so let's have a look at Book 8 of Plato's Republic. And in Book 8, Plato, or Socrates, his narrator, goes through the 5 types of state that he has already mentioned, actually, in one of the earlier books. I can't remember which one exactly now. But he goes through these 5 types of state, and you can see that it kind of goes from this perfect age, the Republic, this perfect state that he's already described in great detail, the just state, which is aristocracy or monarchy, and we'll talk about that in a moment. And it goes from this perfect state, and it gradually gets more and more imperfect, and we'll see that as we speak about these different types of state. And so remember, as well as we're describing the 5 types of state, that Plato or his narrator very often speaks about or makes an analogy between the state and the individual. Yeah, there's the individual, the mind of a person is, well, the state is just a macrocosm of the mind of a person, and so the individual in the perfect state is very different from the individuals in other states, and the mind of the person, the soul, is different in each kind of state. And so obviously this is the most harmonious state, the aristocratic state or monarchy. You remember he actually explained how as long as the aristocracy are united, yeah, and that's the whole idea about this aristocracy, it's a union, it's perfectly ordered, there's perfect harmony and justice and happiness, it's all over the state, and it's a union, so there's no division. That's the idea. And so even an aristocracy is perfect in the sense that it will be one, and so it will be like a monarchy. So it doesn't matter if it's in one person's hands or a group of people's. That's the way I understand this anyway. The idea that they're a union, they're the aristocracy, they can still be in charge of this perfect happy state. And it's ruled by the best. That's the main idea. It's ruled by the people that are suited to rule. And the people that are suited to be soldiers are the ones who are the soldiers. And the people that are suited to be at the bottom, yeah, the what he calls the iron and brass metal. Yeah, remember he did these different metals, gold, silver, and iron and brass. Well, they are the people that are suited for that position. And everything works perfectly. However, not for long, and this is because he explains that he explains each time why this movement happens. You know what causes aristocracy to become democracy, and he also talks about the typical individual who exists in the aristocracy, and the typical individual of the democracy, and the typical individual of the oligarchy, just like he describes the typical state. So each time he does that, you can see that he's always making this connection between the individual and the state. So he explains that knowledge of fertility and sterility is lost. Yeah, you can see that he's very, very concerned in this book about, or certainly the Republic is it functions on the basis that births are controlled and people procreate only with suitable partners. You remember the strange lottery that would be that would be used to deceive the population so that they never found out about this if they weren't, for example, chosen as good enough to be a parent. And so this knowledge is lost. And when the guardians become ignorant of the law of births, brides and grooms are married out of season. This is what he says. And births are lower quality. As a result, there is a mixing